You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans. Tune in every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by Creative Media Design Studio. Check them out at creativemediamonterey.com. Yo, it's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. What's good, Che?
Oh, man. Well, things are looking a lot brighter, right? We got ourselves a W.
Yeah.
So we can't be mad about that.
It's a good way to go into the bye week.
It's a nice way to go into the bye week.
Something to build on.
Yeah. As you can see, I got my beer, so I'm not worried about having to put another beer on suspension.
What are we drinking tonight?
I'm drinking so we had to revisit our friends, the Belching Beaver.
Shout out to the Belching Beaver.
But I got this nice little Here Comes Mango IPA.
Very nice, very smooth, not too fruity.
Yeah, not too fruity.
Yeah.
But also not too like
not too hoppy.
Yeah, not too hoppy.
Yeah.
Which I love hoppy beers, but I know that you're a little bit more on the calm side with the hops, so
yeah.
It's a nice smooth IPA.
It's nice. I like it. The fruitiness, just enough fruitiness to mellow it out. No homo. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't want to offend any of our listeners. Yeah, so let's get into this Miami breakdown. We'll talk a little bit about it. We'll bring Kane on here in a minute. He's going to let us know some more about it. So he was actually at that game, so we'll get the full Miami breakdown.
I was seeing some of the posts from some of the fans that were out there. Some of the super fans were out there.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that. It seemed like they were all at the Clevelander.
Yeah.
Where what you would call it? Who films their show there? Poppy and
oh really? Is that where they filmed that show?
Yeah, they filmed it at the Clevelander.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I know Kennedy was out there, JT was out there, Cliff Branch was out there, Kane was out there, so we'll hear from him about that. I did see Kukui was out there, super fan, and shout out to the Cake Twins, they're out there also. So I'll actually probably be seeing them in Kansas City, so that's the breaking news.
Whoop, whoop.
I bought my tickets. I was sort of on the fence the last time we were on here about the tickets, and I found a nice plane ticket. So I'll be out there. I'll be joining Gent, and I'll be seeing Raider Rockstar, a few of the other bloggers out there, and of course some of the super fans. Raider Nation take over there in Lot N again this year in Kansas City. So I was told to get there at 5 a.m. I don't know that I'm going to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I land in KC on Friday at 5 p.m., and I know Jent's going to take me around and see some of the sites, get some barbecue and whatnot. And so we'll roll over there early enough to get our tailgate in. We'll be broadcasting from over there. And, it should be a cool time. It's going to be cold. I bought a suitcase. I bought some cold weather gear.
Here you go, man.
Got some new gloves.
Layers, man. Layers. It's all about layers.
Layers. Bro. I got my thermal, my duotherm, my champion duotherm. I'll layer it up.
There you go, man.
I got to get a jersey in there, though.
You got to get this jersey in there.
Yeah. So have to talk to you maybe about what I'm going to wear out there. I just got a couple new jerseys. So we'll see. Got some options. But anyways, this Miami game. So Jared Cook, 135 yards on 7 receptions.
Yeah.
No dropped passes this week. By far Cook's best game of the season. We know from Derek Carr's first year here that when he has to and when he wants to, he can lean heavy on his tight end.
Yeah.
And we're finally starting to see what it is that the athletic gazelle-like Jared Cook can do.
Yeah. I really liked what I saw out of him. Seems like it's carrying over from the KC game.
Yes.
Which sucks because sucks for me because I had him on my fantasy team and I dropped his ass because he wasn't doing enough. And then all of a sudden he picks up the thing, but it's all good.
Yeah.
For me, it's like fantasy football is one thing.
Yeah.
But I can lose every single game in a fantasy season.
Yeah.
As long as my Raiders win.
That's it.
It's all that matters.
That's the thing about fantasy football is you can't be too much of a homer. I mean, when you got weapons on your squad and it comes to drafting, you could be a little homer. Especially if you got some inside knowledge and stuff, that's fine. But when it comes to making those roster decisions, you got to step out of your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to do what you got to do.
So you keep on producing, man. I don't even care that you're not producing on my fantasy team no more.
Yeah.
You just keep on producing for my actual team.
Somebody pick them up, obviously.
Yeah, somebody picked them up right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what we got him for, right? We got him for his ability to stretch the field from that position and give those linebackers headaches, man.
Yeah.
And we're finally seeing it. And yeah, it looks like Derek is realizing, hey, you know what? We got something that we can really work with over the middle. Yeah, man. I like what I saw, and if he keeps on putting numbers like that, I feel if he keeps on producing the way he's doing, maybe he's not going to have 126 yards, but if he keeps getting 6-7 receptions a game, I feel like we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
If he's getting that many touches, that means we're doing some things and we're moving the ball downfield. We're getting first downs for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to equal out into a W for us.
Definitely, he's a difficult matchup for linebackers, inside linebackers. He's having a lot of success over the middle. And a few of those catches on Thursday were real tough, man. I had to hold my breath. Like, did he hold on to it?
Yeah.
So shout out to JFB who called in last week. He kind of laid some hard truth, some brutal honesty on y'all. But before the game started, he was on there posting, and he said that Cook was going to have 10 receptions for 110 yards receiving because of his matchup. So
pretty close.
He hit that on the head, man.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people, they're very critical of my boy Jeff. But spicy takes, always
hot takes.
Hot. Very spicy. So shout out to JFB. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. He's interesting. I think if you search Gzoff, Geezoff, he's a Jeff with a G type dude. So find him. He's in my follow. So you find him. He's an interesting follow. He's got some good value bet advice on there too. He does play the line every week. So
nice.
Yeah. So speaking of the passing game, Derek Carr, 21 of 30, his third 300-yard game in a row. This is 300 yards on the money, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Very conservative stats. The 1 pick, 50-50 ball. It was a punt pass.
Pretty much.
Kind of set up some garbage yards late in the game.
Yeah.
As a result, the score ended up being a lot closer than the game was.
Yep.
I know folks said that this was an ugly game. It was. I don't think it's as ugly as everybody's making it out to be. But that's tough Miami defense, and it's a road game.
I think it was uglier in the first half.
Yeah.
Second half, for sure, we took over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I can understand. Where people are coming from. Like I said, for the majority of that game, I wasn't very happy. I felt like it was too close. I felt like we weren't taking advantage of things that we should be taking advantage of. But we got our ish together, man. We got it together in the second half and pulled away.
A lot of people talking about Cutler's game, outstanding game. Best game of the season for him. Obviously, really, really coming down on the defense. And I'm not saying the defense doesn't deserve to take its licks. It most definitely does. He's 34 of 42 with 311 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm not going to try to say this was not a good game for him. But I thought, and even Cutler said this himself, he thought the Oakland defense did a really good job of keeping all the plays in front of them and took away everything over the top. So when you look at the passing breakdown, the receptions, Williams had 6 catches and Drake had 6 catches. So it's 12 catches out of the backfield right there for basically close to 100 yards, 47 and 35 yards respectively. And one of those guys obviously with a touchdown there. So, you call it what you want, but we did give up a lot of the underneath. Now that scares me going into not next week. Well, I guess you can officially call it next week now that this week has started here. Started Thursday Night Football, but Tom Brady passing a lot to backs out of his backfield.
Right.
And just a FYI, spoiler alert or anti-spoiler alert, we're not going to be breaking that game down this week. We're going to break that game down for you next week. I'm chasing a guest right now who's going to give us some context between the Raiders and New England. I don't want to spoil that right now, but he wrote a book. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm waiting to see if that comes to fruition. If so, that'll be great. And we'll have a couple other callers call in next week too to break that down. So getting back to the Miami game, Marshawn Lynch. We saw the effectiveness of Lynch return. He looked more like the back he looked like in weeks 1 and 2.
Yeah.
A lot of folks critical of Lynch. I've been defending him since week 1. My take is this. It's really hard to get anything going in the in the run game when you're getting tackled in the backfield.
Of course.
and we've talked about this too, the zone blocking scheme versus power blocking scheme and the way our offensive line is set up for success or failure in either one of those schemes.
Right.
Now, we did run a lot of zone in this week. We did. And really, when you look at the stats, Marshawn's got a lot less carries out of the zone than you would think. He's actually got half as much as he does when Carr's handing the ball off to him under center. But his yards per carry are roughly equal. They're like 3 point something. Yeah. He was closer to 4 before suspension and that 3-week funk that we had,
right,
or a little bit longer. We ran into Denver, we ran into Washington, both really good run defenses. Baltimore, pretty good run defense. Well, at the time they weren't so much, but you see where I'm going with this. But this week, Marshawn Lynch, not a great total, 57 yards total, but 57 yards total, 60 yards after contact. More yards after contact than total yards.
Right.
Why is that?
Because he's getting hit in the backfield.
Because he's getting hit in the backfield.
Right.
And we saw that a lot frequently in the first quarter. I thought, here we go, hand the ball off, hit in the backfield. I was like, damn it,
You know what bothers me about it too is that when he does get hit in the backfield, it's not like he's getting hit by one guy. Because I think that if it was just one guy that kind of got loose, he would break 50% of those. Mm-hmm. There's multiple guys back there, man.
Yeah.
So you can't blame him for stuff that happens like that. Because if you have two guys bearing down on you, coming free, like, I mean, what? He's not Superman.
No.
He's beast mode, but he ain't Superman. He's just gonna shed every single player on the defense's side of the ball. So we got to do better to make sure that he isn't getting hit in the backfield, man.
In order for a bulldoze to bulldoze, he's got to have a head of steam.
Right, and we saw him do that, man. He lit up the linebacker.
Oh.
He lit up the linebacker, which was nice to see because early on in the game, like one of the first runs that he had, the whoever was announcing Collins and them, they were talking about they were talking about the Miami linebacker because he put a pretty decent hit on him. Mm-hmm. And then later on in the game, he gave it right back to him. It was nice to see him just bounce him off of him, and then and keep it moving. He trucked. I think he even carried a couple guys for a couple more yards after that.
It was Wheatley-esque.
It was. Right.
My version of hell is it's an ongoing dream of me doing what I do in my everyday life, except I have the monologue of Chris Collinsworth in my head 24/7. I'm sorry, but I cannot stand Chris Collinsworth.
Can anybody stand Chris Collinsworth?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, man.
Get Romo up in there, man. Get him on prime time. Let's just let Romo announce every game. I think everyone's pretty much like on the Romo train at this point.
I think he's too unpredictable, man. That's their fear right there.
Not Bill Romanowski, Tony Romo.
Oh.
But I like where you're headed, though.
I thought you were going Romo. Like Romanowski, he's too unpredictable. But that would be a very entertaining game.
That is both a fantastic idea and a terrible idea.
All wrapped up in one.
No disrespect, Romo. You're probably in my driveway right now. Yeah. So, anyways, Raiders offensive tackle Donald Penn graded out at 84.7 in run blocking. He was the only Raiders offensive lineman to post a run block grade above 60 points against Miami. So, again, further illustrating the point that we're having difficulties in run blocking. And again, I attribute that to scheme. And when Chase comes on later in the show, we'll talk to him about that. I kind of feel like we're beating a dead horse here.
Yeah.
But
but it is what it is, man. You gotta analyze what it is, man.
We digress. Raiders rookie safety makes his debut. Obi Melifonwu.
Not at safety.
Actually playing corner and DB, playing in the nickel and playing outside at times. Yeah. Very first play from scrimmage. Was a run play, and he gets in there on the run stop. Unguarded Khalil Mack, he kind of comes in and helps with the tackle. Looks good. He actually looked good all game.
Yeah.
Gave up a reception, but made a sure tackle. Just blanketing coverage. He looks good in coverage.
Yeah.
This is promising for a guy that's been out all season, had a limited training camp. I was talking on the blog earlier with Eternal Pessimist, and he was kind of like, how does he come in and do this without really having any experience on field? And I'm like, mental reps. If you're a good player and you got it upstairs as well as the physical, those mental reps count. Yep. If not, then you just have to get in there and drill it over and over and over again. But the great players, they pay attention and they learn and they get better even when they're standing on the sidelines. So this is terrific, right?
Yeah, no,
and
definitely.
And the brief glimpse that we got of Conley, it gives me hope that this draft was actually a great draft. I mean, you can argue it wasn't because these guys aren't on the field, but paying it forward, drafts are not for 1 year; they're for your future. So I feel really good about it.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So he graded out, and I know a lot of you guys don't like the PFF grades, but it's really the only measuring stick we have that's brief.
Right.
I can go through all the stats, but you don't want to hear that. But he graded out at a 78.7 overall. He was the 6th highest graded player for Oakland in Week 9. So shout out to you, Obi.
Yeah.
Your only hope. And then here we go, Mario Edwards Jr. We're going to spend some time talking about Edwards in the second half of the show as well. Another great game. 3 run stops and 2 pressures against Miami. I was on Reddit earlier today, and I had posted his grade for the season and his run stop percentage for the season, and somebody was saying, well, of course, he's playing all season. Those numbers aren't that great. But actually, he's, I think, tied for second in the league for 3-4 defensive ends and run stopping. Yeah. So those numbers are great.
Yeah, man.
And they're not mediocre.
No.
And
he's been playing great football. I like what I've seen out of Mario Edwards Jr. And it's exactly what we talked about in the offseason, right? We're like, yes. We think this guy's going to do something this year. And he's doing it. Yeah. He's doing it. As long as he stays healthy, I think we're in a good place, good spot with him. Vanderdost needs to pick it up a little bit.
Oh man, yeah, we're going to pick on him too. The only surprise for me for Mario is his recovery and how solid he looks.
Yeah,
his ability. We've seen the flashes of it. We knew it was there. Mm-hmm. It was not like he was never inconsistent. He just couldn't stay on the field. And here he's been. He's been a workhorse for us. I mean, he's out there.
Yep.
So I think that's a surprise, just how durable he's been considering his past. You just never know if a guy's injury prone or not until time passes.
Right.
And that's where we're at right now. So I'm a big fan of Mario Edwards Jr. I'm really debating picking up an Edwards jersey. If I could find one, you got to maybe custom order those. Those are actually hard to find. Usually you see the Cars, you see Lynch's, you see the Max, you see the Coopers, the Crabtrees, but some of these other more cutty dudes, you got to hunt for those.
Yeah.
Raiders Derek Carr completed 5 of 6 play action passes for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Todd Downing, you're starting to get it. Furthermore, Derek Carr had a perfect passer rating in the play action on Sunday Night Football. I'm watching the game right now in the corner. So, by the way, quick update: it is 15-10. Seattle. Seattle also recorded a safety, so we don't really care about this game. I'm watching highlighters run around the field right now. I feel like I need to watch this game because I highlight things that are very important. But this game isn't very important.
Is that Richard?
Richard Sherman is now limping on the sidelines.
Is limping on the sidelines?
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
No bueno for Sherman. He'll be fine. He's a tough guy. He'd look good in your Raider uniform. So, yeah.
You keep on limping. Fake that limp. Get cut.
Limp your way to Oakland. Reggie loves signing injured corners. By the way, Vontae Davis released. He's going to undergo groin surgery, so he should be on a roster in about 15 minutes. So keep an eye out for Vontae Davis coming to Oakland soon. I'm kidding. We don't want Vontae Davis on this roster right now. What else you got for this game? Any other stats jump out at you?
I think stats-wise, if you're looking at the numbers, they're not very impressive as far as us versus them.
Yeah.
They basically beat us in every stat category except for a couple, which was third down efficiency, penalties.
Yay. And you know what?
And time of possession.
I was going to say, Kane's going to come on and give us the MVP, but the refs are up there for me because Miami and the refs, they were giving us this game early and often.
Yeah.
You're right, and I'm actually just a quick correction because I'm looking at the stats right now, and you're absolutely right. Nothing jumps off of this stat sheet at all except for Cook, who I said it was 7 for 135. It was actually 8 receptions for 126.
Yeah,
with the 35-yard longest. But yeah, and then Holton 2 for 2, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns on the season.
Right.
Bang.
Yeah.
That's all he does is catch touchdowns.
That's it. That's all he does.
I saw a video earlier today of Carr talking to Cooper on the sideline after the touchdown. He said, that was all you. That was you. You made that happen. He said the defense was clouding your side, and that's why I saw Holton. And you know what? Holton, excellent job getting positioning on that play.
Yeah, man, because he fought for it once it was up in the air. You saw that?
Yeah.
When they showed the replay, they showed in slow motion, and the safety was actually on the inside. Mm-hmm. And he fought around him to beat him to that inside position and get that. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Like a box out.
Maneuver, he did. He swum. He actually swum. Like he swum through him.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever played football and you were ever on the line, I was a tight end in high school. You had to swim. Sometimes you swim, or sometimes you drive through. You drive through with the arm. He swum over the top and got around him, got in the inside, fought back to the outside for that ball. That was nice.
And that's tough to do at the end of a 44-yard route.
Full sprint.
Full sprint.
Yeah, full sprint. Full on sprint. Yeah.
And great job. That was a go route, but then he bent it across. So it's just great instincts on that play. I know a lot of Raider fans out there clamoring for more Johnny Holton. I wouldn't mind seeing more, but then again, you never know. Maybe less is more. These are the types of guys where it's like you don't see him, and then bang.
Right.
And that's why.
That's right. Why he's making those plays. Yeah. I mean, think about Andre Holmes, right? He kind of had the same success in a sense where he wasn't the main guy. The eyes weren't really on him, and then all of a sudden he'd sneak in there in a play and he'd get a touchdown.
That's it.
And I feel like that's the same thing for Holton.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? Nothing against him. We appreciate what he does.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. And then on special teams, man, he's always downfield.
He is
bearing down on the punt return. So you got to give it to him. He holds up his end. He holds up his end really well.
Very much. Should we get Raider Kane on the phone here?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. The following segment is not safe for work. All right, so we got Kane's Corner, brought to you every week by NFLshop.com. Make sure you click through pj4f.com and hit the banner there so we get a little something out of your purchase. Helps us out, helps us keep this pirate ship afloat. What's up, Raider Kane? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Kenny? How's it going, man?
Good. Welcome back to the Bay. As we already let the fans know, you were out there in South Beach for the Miami game. What was your experience like out there? How was Miami? How did it treat you?
Oh, man, Miami was off the hook, bro. That was a place that I would definitely recommend that you go see a game at. Definitely, man. South Beach, Miami Beach. Oh, man, that's something that everybody once in your lifetime, you definitely got to go visit South Beach, man. Yeah, it was off the hook, man. I had a great time, man. Wonderful time. Miami fans are good fans. I didn't get, harassed or heckled. I didn't see no fights in the stand. The stadium was beautiful. I mean, I had a great time, man.
So that's
great time, man.
That's Joe Robbie, right? They renovated that to Hard Rock. That's the same old stadium, right?
Exactly. They just renovated it. Exactly.
They did a good job. They did a good job at that.
Excellent job, man. It's an outdoor stadium with an indoor covering, so the seats. When you sit down inside the stands, the seats are covered by the roof. It's just the field is open to the elements. So if it rains or if it was to snow or anything, which it doesn't there, but if it rains, then you're only getting the football. The team is only getting the rain. The fans don't feel any of the effects, man. Even outside at the concourse. Bro, the Raiders need a new stadium in Oakland, man.
Wow, That's
cool
because then you still get the pure football with the weather, but then the fans stay comfortable. That's cool.
They got a really nice stadium, man. Really nice stadium, man. I was jealous. I'm jealous.
Was Raider Nation out there in full effect? Yeah. Were they representing pretty good?
Raider Nation was representing hardcore, man. I mean, look, what other fans? Now I go to tailgates in Oakland every week.
Yeah.
And I'm there, and I never saw another team's fans come to our parking lot and have a whole section locked down for their team. I've never seen that in 23 years of going to the Raiders to the stadium to watch football. Never saw it.
We're out
so
there.
Here we are, and I've been to New Orleans now. I've been to Miami and other stadiums, and every time I've seen them take over, the Raider fans, we travel well, man, and so it's one of those things where it was another good trip, man. The Raider fans, we took over. And if you noticed, if you were watching in the last like 2-3 minutes of the game, the Miami fans were leaving.
Yep.
And the Raider fans, we were still standing there. We was chanting Raiders.
Yeah, you could hear
Raiders.
it. You could hear it on TV.
I'm not sure what they. Okay, good. Because I'm not sure what they showed on TV, bro. But hey, we took that stadium over.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Another Raider takeover, man.
I think Collinsworth actually even mentioned something about it.
It was beautiful, man. It was a beautiful thing because even when Coop caught some balls, you could hear Coop.
Yeah, exactly. And they from. It was people, Miami fans, Dolphin fans, were coming up to us and saying, "Yeah, with Johnny Holden and Mari Cooper are best friends. They from here." They was trying to give us the history.
Huh.
Like they followed them in high school football and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And they were Dolphin fans, but they were still like saying, "Hey, we still root for Mari Cooper and Johnny Holden. Look, you guys they lucky to have them on the team. They best friends, and whatever." So that's a good thing too, man. So I mean, I had a great time, man. It was a good time, man. But as far as the game is concerned,
yeah,
the game was a little shaky.
Mm-hmm.
We won, but that garbage time touchdown, I think we could have. I think the defense needs to give us one where we just show that we can blow a team out. I mean, it's been like 4 weeks since we really actually blown a team out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah.
This was the opportunity for you to kind of like shut Miami down all the way, and you didn't. So, and I understand you were trying to run out the clock. They were just trying to let the clock run. We had already pretty much basically had them beat. So, but yeah, I think the defense is have to start getting in playoff mode here in the next couple of weeks, man. They're gonna have to start locking it down. Offense too,
for sure.
So.
Yeah, I was hoping that game went in 27-17, or maybe we even get a late field goal and it ends up 30-17, and on the scoreboard looks as lopsided as it should have.
Well, like we said though, without that interception, it would have ended 27-16.
Yeah,
that late interception was just a bad throw.
Exactly, T. You're right. Without that last minute garbage touchdown, the win would have looked better. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what I think they were just trying to run the clock out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I simultaneously liked and disliked that play. I was like, okay, we're running the ball out. We're doing safe plays here. We're running the clock out. But then, Carr takes a strike because maybe, hey, we get away with one. I like that. That was aggressive, 50-50 ball, but ends up in an interception, and then we play the soft defense and let him march right down the field. And if it wasn't for that last drive, Cutler would have ended up with less yards than Derek Carr. He would have been under 300 yards. And that whole first half, I think he had 10 completions in a row. All of that gets wiped off the board, and we're not talking about Jay Cutler this week, but it is what it is. We gave up that last drive, and that's what it looks like. So luckily, I wasn't really sitting on the edge of my seat. The only thing that bothered me is they get the onside kick early in the game caught us by surprise. And now I'm thinking, okay, they got a pretty good special team squad. Here we go. Mm-hmm. But we were able to sew it up there in the end. So luckily we walk out of there with a W, and we got something to build on, a little bit of momentum going into the bye week.
Yeah, man. You know what? This should be a great momentum. I mean, listen, man, locally here in the Bay Area, and we all are from the Bay Area, so you guys probably been hearing the same thing as I've been hearing, but there's some locker room chaos. There's something going on in the locker room here, man. So hopefully this trip to the East Coast, and they had to spend a week together, it helped.
Yeah.
So we'll just see, man. I'm not going to make any predictions unless it's going to be a week-by-week thing for me, man. I can only say what I can say is that we need to win at least 6 of our last 7 games, man.
Yeah.
So and hopefully we'll win all 7.
That's it.
But we need to win 6. If we lose 1, then you know what? You got to start thinking about if we're going to lose another one. Right. So that's where I'm at right now, man. As far as this team is concerned, I love my Raiders, man, but it's been a disappointing season so far. Yep. Really, it has been.
And there's,
last week,
I I'm
sorry, go ahead.
There's talent on this roster, and that's, we say that they need to win 6 out of their last 7, and there's a lot of people that kind of grip when they hear that because it's like, wow. But I want to point out, and I'm not really comparing strength of schedule because it is different, but the Saints, they just won their 6th game in a row, and that's the New Orleans Saints. They don't even have a defense there. I don't even think they're fielding 12 players.
Well, actually, the defense has actually been playing a lot better.
Well, actually, their defense is exactly, Chi. Exactly, Chi. Their defense is playing pretty good right now, bro. You can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
The Saints are playing good defense right now.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Keep me straight. Keep me straight.
Hey, look, you can't stream them in fantasy football.
No, hell no.
Actually, they are. They keeping that team together right now, though. They are. They're keeping that team together. So,
so do you got who we backing up the truck for? Who's our trash can player of the week this week?
Oh man, that's a hard one, man. I guess I want to say that and we talked about this in production. I want to say the defense for giving up Ken Norton Jr. for allowing the defense to play such a weak defense down the stretch when you need to be going into playoff mode and shutting teams out. If we would have put that last, instead of letting them drive and get the touchdown to run the clock out, if we had made them go 3 and out and run the clock out with Marshawn Lynch and our running backs, Jalen Richard, which Marshawn Lynch had a good week this week, So if we would have allowed our offense to run the clock out, we look better. So I'm going to say the trash players of the week is Ken Norton Jr. for allowing the defense to play prevent and let them score that last-minute garbage touchdown. We don't need to do that right now.
Fair enough.
We don't need to do that right now, man.
Get in the truck, Ken. I mean, you think you're driving the truck, but really, you're in the back of the truck this week, Ken. I know you're a coach. But we're taking the keys away, and we're throwing you in the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm. Man.
So on the other side of the coin, on the flip side, on the positive side, who are you going to give the MVP to this week?
I'm going to give the MVP to Derek Carr. Derek Carr has had two consistent games. Mm-hmm. I mean, who else can you give it to?
I mean, you could give it to Lynch. He's got the 2 touchdowns, but really only 57 yards.
You can give it to Lynch. You can give it to Lynch 15 carries. You can give it to Lynch 15 carries. 87 yards.
57 yards.
Touchdowns.
Yeah.
You can give it to Lynch. Can give it to Lynch, but that
the touchdowns look good, but the
yardage
isn't.
I'm gonna give it to Derek Carr. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Derek Carr in hopes that this gives him a spark to keep the team going, because we need Marshawn Lynch, but we need Derek Carr too.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
So Derek Carr played a good game. So yes, Marshawn Lynch, this is something you should be doing, bro.
For real.
8 carries. You should be doing that already. 2 touchdowns. This is what we brought you in here for. Mm-hmm. So no, I'm not going to give you the MVP player of the week.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Derek Carr for coming out with broke backbones. You coming off a broke leg. The team hasn't been playing well, and Derek Carr has been the only player that's trying to spark this team up as far as media-wise, because they all putting it. They're not talking to the other offensive players. I haven't seen Cooper. I haven't seen Crabtree. I ain't seen none of the offensive linemen except for Penn have anything to say about anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So as far as I'm concerned, Derek Carr is my MVP this week, bro. We won a game. And every week that we win a game from here on out is going to be Derek Carr. That's the only way we're going to win 6 out of the last 7 games.
I agree with everything you just said. I agree with everything you just said.
If Derek Carr doesn't play well, Marshawn Lynch can get 15 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, and we can lose the game. Because 14 points are not enough for us to win a game. We need for Derek Carr to be our MVP every week for the next 6 to 7 weeks, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just real. That's what it is.
That's what he just said. And one of those touchdowns for Lynch came, I think it was like at the 5-yard line. You're supposed to do that. That's what you're supposed to do. 14 carries, 57 yards, not spectacular. That's less than 4 yards a carry. You're better than that. You had 1 for 22. That was a nice play. Hey, you got to highlight. Is that MVP worthy? No. Derek Carr, you the real MVP.
You the real MVP.
Kane's right. He hit it right on the head.
Derek Carr has got to be the MVP for the rest of the season in order for this team to make it to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Derek Carr was our MVP last year, and Derek Carr is going to have to be the MVP of this year in order for us to get to the playoffs. Even get to the playoffs.
Yep.
That's not even to the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship, or nothing. I'm talking about just get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because right now, this team is not even playing like we want to make it to the playoffs.
No.
True.
They're not playing like that.
No.
No, they're not. They're not playing like that at all. No. So giving up garbage time touchdowns when you need to be blowing teams out, no. You're not playing like you want something. You know, so let's just see how we do after the bye. Everybody get some rest. You know what I'm saying? Go home, come back. We play Denver. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
I think we got the Giants next or Denver. Who we got next? Giants, Denver.
Well, we go to Mexico City and we play the Patriots, and then we come back.
Okay, so we go to Mexico. We go to Mexico. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Patriots,
Yeah,
and
we
then,
go to
and then it's
Mexico.
Denver,
Okay.
and then it's New York after that. So
And then it's New York. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
And then I
So-
think it's off to Philadelphia. No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. There's another game in between there. Kansas City. It's Kansas City. So then we go Denver, New York.
You'll be there.
Hey,
be there.
bro.
Huh.
Did you just hear what you just said? Name it. Did you just hear those teams?
Yeah.
All those teams you just named are in a playoff hunt except for Denver and
Exactly.
San Diego.
Yeah. And we play
Well, except for the Giants.
the Giants.
Oh,
are,
the Giants. Yeah, but the Giants. Yeah,
So-
that's right.
So yeah, I was right. So Patriots,
it's
Broncos,
still, you know what?
Giants,
Denver's going to
Chiefs.
play as hard. San Diego's going to play as hard. Denver's going to play as hard. So those are games that you can't even count as like games that we're just there. The Giants is probably the only rollover game left on our schedule
Right.
right now.
Right.
The rest of the teams are trying to play us to beat us or knock us out the playoffs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's a good point because I
Hey.
got a lot of people. People are already looking past that Denver game, and it's like, hey, they might be out of the mix, but Denver loves nothing more but to beat the Oakland Raiders.
Exactly.
So they will be up for that
the
game.
Chargers too. Phillip Rivers.
Chargers, too.
Phillip Rivers.
Exactly.
The Chargers too, man.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's
the only team.
No, I was
Go
just
ahead,
gonna.
I'm
I was just gonna say that when it comes to our division, you already know that you're gonna be in a game because divisional rivals are always gonna come up and play up to your standards, man.
Yeah,
So you can't just count on us getting that W because they're so prepared. They've seen us so many
Exactly.
weeks. You know, they've seen us every single year. They know exactly what we're gonna do.
Yeah. So just to
Exactly.
recap, it's the Patriots and then the Broncos and then the Giants and then we go Chiefs, Cowboys, Eagles, Chargers. And by the way, Kane, I just bought my plane tickets.
Boy, hey, that does not sound easy, bro.
No.
No, not at all.
Listen, you got the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's possible 3 losses, and you don't play Denver well in Denver.
Well, that game's
And
in
then-
Oakland. Just remember that game is in Oakland.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oops, my bad. That is
Yeah.
in Oakland. Okay,
Yeah.
and then we got the Chargers in Oakland.
Yeah.
Again.
To finish the season.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
in Oakland again. Okay, so the only team you really got to worry about is Philly, the Chiefs, and the Patriots.
Yeah.
Can we beat the Broncos? Can we say we'll beat the Broncos? Can we say we'll beat the Broncos down the stretch?
We
I
can.
mean,
We can.
you know-
we can. It's going to be a tough one, but we can beat the Broncos. That's going to be a good measuring stick because that's a game that we should win. And
It's a game we should have won.
that's a game we should have won already.
Yeah.
And that's a game we should win at home. And if we're struggling in that game, it does not look good for the stretch. And also a reminder,
It does
two
not
of
look
those
good.
games, two of those games down the stretch are going to be primetime games. The Cowboys game is a primetime game, and the Eagles game on Christmas Day is also a primetime game. So we'll see how Derek Carr steps up in those primetime games. He's been shaky. He looked good on Sunday Night Football, so let's hope he can continue that form in those games. But we look forward to talking about those as we move down the schedule, and hopefully we just keep stacking these wins, as Jack Del Rio likes to say.
Well, I'll tell you what. Looking at the schedule when it came out, I had the Patriots as a loss in Mexico. I had Philly as a loss in Philly, and I had the Chiefs as a loss in Kansas City. And this was before we are 4-5. So I figured we'd be like 6-1. I mean, I'm sorry, 8-1 right now.
Wow. Okay.
You know, so I figured our only loss right now would be like the Kansas City and Oakland. But you know, it is what it is, man. So we 4-5 coming into the bye. We got New England coming up. So we'll see what's going on next week or the next couple of weeks with that, man. Hopefully in these next couple of weeks they can get the shit together, man, and we can see a run to the playoffs, a real run to the playoffs. Like they waited until they got the hardest part of their schedule to decide you want to make a run
exactly
to the playoffs when you should have been playing the first part of your schedule, because now the Chiefs got our first part and their last part.
Yeah,
you know, so. That's the team that the Chiefs have the first part of our schedule is the last part of the Chiefs schedule.
Yeah.
So
here's what I got to say about that,
though. Easy games coming up right now.
Here's what I got to say about that, though. We're one game out of the wild card right now. We're 2 games out of first place in the AFC West. The Chiefs' defense is not doing them any favors. They got the lowest ranked secondary in the NFL. These teams, Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, Tennessee, Jacksonville, they're not going to run the table. They're not going to win every game out from here on out.
Nope.
Now, the onus is on us to nearly do that. But if we can get hot at the right time and roll in, it looks good for us. So there's a lot of Raider fans out there still hanging their head, maybe a little bit less so coming off of a win this last week, but there is plenty of hope left in this season. Is it week to week? Yes. Is there talent on this roster? Yes. Can we do it? Hell yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep hope alive. Kane's going to keep hope alive.
I believe that.
Che always had his head up high. This dude never quits.
Never.
When we were 0-10, he was telling me, we're going to beat the 49ers.
Yep.
We're going to beat Kansas City. Sure enough, that's what we did. So
that's what we did. That's right.
That's exactly what we did. So, you know, they're not going to run we're going to get more opportunities. We're going to get some gifts during these weeks. It's going to happen. It's just up to us to take advantage of that. You know, the rest of the league is not going to go undefeated from here on out. So, that being said,
you know what's sad is we waited to the hardest part of our schedule to try to make it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's sad about me. We didn't take advantage of the easy part of our schedule, like you know, and locally here in the local media, we've been hearing a lot about locker room issues or this or that or whatever. And I'm trying to figure out what locker room issues it is. You know, there's a lot of speculation. Derek Carr, Miko Grimes, whatever.
Yeah, she's
that
trash.
Shit I don't even want to. You know what? It's not even worth mentioning.
No.
But if it is something going on in the locker room, it ain't got nothing to do with Derek Carr and the national anthem. You know, it's something else than that. So,
now if anything, this team's just gripping.
Way worse than that.
If anything,
trust and believe that.
If anything, this team's just gripping. If anything, it's just their confidence is taking a hit. I don't believe there's any drama. This team's really tight. You got former Raiders players. You got James Jones out there saying that Derek Carr is the best teammate he's ever played with. You got Donald Penn's very vocal. You got everybody. I talked to Scott Winter. He was in the locker room in Washington. He said by no means was anybody mad at Carr. They were picking him up after that game. They were distracted before the game. They had plans. They had their eyes set on something else. But that was then. This is now. This team just got punched in the mouth. Their confidence has taken a hit, and that's all it is. Don't get it twisted. This team does not hate each other. They're in there. And if you need to see proof of that, go back to the Kansas City game, because when Marcus Peters put that pop on Carr, you saw what the reaction of the team was at that moment.
Right.
If they didn't care about their quarterback, they would have just walked to the sideline.
Yep.
And that's
you know what, bro? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Social media and Twitter and it started out, I think, as a joke, like because the Oakland Raiders offensive line is African American.
Right.
All 5 offensive linemen are African American, and so it was a joke because the way we're Colin Kaepernick being an African American started, the sit down of the national anthem and everything. And so with the way that we had the only black offensive line in a National Football League. I think it was a running joke at first, like, oh, the Raiders gonna trip because they got the only black lineman in the league, and so then we went out and the defense stunk and the offense stunk, and Washington was prepared to whoop us.
Mm-hmm.
That it made it look like, that something was going on, when really, I think we just didn't come prepared to beat the Washington Redskins, bro.
That's
and
all
they
it
just beat us.
Because look,
you know what I'm saying?
Because look,
that's all it is.
Marshawn Lynch is taking shots in the backfield. Do they hate him too?
All right.
Because the last I checked, he's been kneeling for the last 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. So my point exactly.
So
if the offensive line had a problem with Derek Carr standing up while they sat down, then they should have had a problem. I mean, come on, it's not even worth discussing.
Yeah.
But since it's a topic for discussion, I guess we got to bring it up.
There it is.
But I mean, hey, look, man, it's deeper than that, bro.
Yeah.
If there's something wrong with this team in the locker room, it's got something to do with the coaches.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the cohesiveness of the players.
Yeah.
It's about coaching, man. So, hey.
Yeah.
And
that's what it is too, as far as us maybe getting better, looking a little bit better the last few weeks. Hey, Todd Downing's learning. He's taking his licks. He's making his adjustments.
He better learn faster, man.
He better learn a lot faster. What's this? I'm looking out my window right now. And Ken Norton Jr. is whipping the truck around, and he's got Miko Grimes. He's throwing Miko Grimes in the back of the truck. It's about time.
Oh, yeah, Miko Grimes, you got blew up this week, boy. From play one, you got blew up this week. They shouldn't put you on the tight end no more, that's for sure. Shit. When they see a tight end coming, they better make sure you sit on the bench. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but boy, he's garbage against the tight end. Everybody including Stevie Wonder, can see you can't guard tight ends. And we should have just they should have replaced you from the first play.
Yeah.
Shit. The first down the sideline play to, you know what I mean, to Jared Cook down the sideline. We was in the stadium, we jumped up like, woo!
Oh, you're talking about Kiko Alonso.
I'm talking about Kiko Alonso.
Yeah, Kiko. Yeah. No. He can't cover worth a damn. He couldn't cover Amari Cooper either.
But really, should he be trying to cover fucking? I mean, that's just bad defensive scheme. If you're on Amari Cooper, you're Kiko Alonso. You're looking over at your coach saying like, really?
Yeah.
You just did me like this?
Nah.
Thanks a lot.
No.
So okay, Miko Grimes is the trash player of the week, I guess, but she don't play for the team. She shouldn't even. Hey, bro, the fact that we giving her some props, even is we shouldn't even. She don't deserve it.
Yeah,
she doesn't deserve to be the trash player of the week. No, that's just giving her what she wants.
I was vocal on Twitter about that yesterday.
That's just giving her what she wants. The fact that we even talking about this ratchet person is,
Thank you.
Is not even, come on. The fact that she would think that, we just disputed that. Like, if these players you honestly think that, come on, man, I'm making millions of dollars, Hudson, Penn, and Jackson. Those are your high, and Simile. Those, you think they make $1 million. You think those players are going to say, you know what, since he didn't stand, I'm going to take a few plays off so we can fuck up our season. I mean, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's
no, man,
hey, I'm a brother.
That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thought.
And I don't even think I would even do some shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't even think I would.
No, because you know what?
Not just keeping it real.
But it's because of this though. You really think that you're going to take some, even if there was some kind of a personal vendetta, you're really willing to throw away the rest of your season? You're going to let your quarterback, the only person on your team that can actually get you where you want to be as far as your playoff success? Because nobody else is going to come out there and play the way that Derek Carr can play. You really think that they're willing to give up the entire season to prove a point?
Hey, Hey, Chief, bro, you just heard me say Derek Carr is our MVP.
Exactly.
If he doesn't play good, then we're not going anywhere, bro. So you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know
and that's why it's bullshit.
Yeah,
that's why it's bullshit.
like I don't think. I mean, hey, I might joke on the blog or whatever, you know, and say whatever this and that, but I'm gonna keep it real. If Derek Carr doesn't play well, we are not going anywhere.
Exactly.
That's the best player on our team. And if the offensive line wants to go through a Indianapolis season or a 49ers season where they going 0-16 or 15, 3-12, if they really want to do that, you know, just to earn a paycheck, then you don't deserve to. We don't want you.
Right.
I definitely, we should just replace the whole, I don't care how much you make.
Yeah, man.
You know, I don't care how much you make and how good you are.
Yep.
And you can go to another team and play good, or we could just X you out the NFL if you're playing to get the quarterback hurt.
Yep.
That's not no.
Yeah.
No. So and I know we live on air.
Yeah.
Hey, but I that's just how I feel, man.
No, we're
That's
with
how
you.
I feel, man.
Here at the Pillaging Podcast, we stand united and we kneel together.
Yeah.
So, from here to the field, we're all on the same page.
We stand united, we kneel together, baby.
And we don't need to say wild stuff just to get folks to listen to our podcast. So take note, Miko. Ain't nobody going to listen to your podcast. Nobody's going to do that. I don't care if 5 people listen to the show next week because as long as we're keeping it real, that's all that matters.
We always keep it real.
That's it.
Hey, that's right. That's right. I'm trying so hard not to cry. That's right. You're right.
Hey,
100% correct. Yep.
Kane, thanks for coming on again this week. We look forward to talking to you next week about this Patriots game. We're going to be breaking that down real heavy. Break out all your Patriots jokes, do all your research. We're going to open up everything.
Hey, man, I love coming on with you and Chi every week, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to coming on with y'all, man. You and Chi, y'all the bomb, man. Y'all got it going on. Everything is great.
This is all family,
man.
Seeing
you next week, bro.
This is it.
Yeah.
So, again, this was Kane's Corner, sponsored by NFLShop.com. He joins us every week, courtesy of them. Make sure you go on PJ4F.com, click through the banner, help us out, throw us a bone, get yourself a nice, crisp jersey. I don't care whose it is, as long as it's a Raiders jersey. Is that right?
Exactly.
Go Raiders, baby.
That's it. We
Silver and black every day, all day.
All day.
Peace.
All right. We'll catch you guys after the break.
Happy bye-week, Raider fans and others. This is Plunk. So my feeling about the Raiders right now is I think we're going to beat New England in Mexico. I'm not sure why I feel so strongly about this, but I do. So just remember, you heard it here.
What's up, Kenny? 303 Raider, Thursday night. Whew, what a big win last week. Number 4 came to play, and again, that's 2 out of 3 weeks. I think that back is definitely getting healthy. I think the biggest thing this past week from watching the game was just that the running game looked more effective. We stuck with it, even though I know a lot of us were complaining when Lynch gets 1 or 2 yards, but I think one of the reasons why he broke a couple is because we stuck with it. I like the play calling. I love the deep shot to Holton. Still very upset with Cooper and Krabs. We just can't be dropping balls. And now we have a legitimate middle of the field threat. Some of I'll say Oak always calls Cook trash. Well, he ain't trash. Right now we're going to open up the field more because we've got Cook in the middle and he's a threat. So, big win. The defense still scares me. We've got to get some pass rush. I don't know what's going on with Mac. Hopefully he just needs a week off. That was probably the worst tackling game we've had in a few weeks. So rest up. Again, must win versus New England. And I just have this feeling that we're going to beat New England. It might be ugly. It might take a heroic comeback, but I just think our offense is about ready to explode. And we left a lot of points on the table. So I'll call back next week as I think about some of the keys for us to beat New England, but I just have this feeling that we're going to go on a run. Maybe it's me just being very optimistic, which I am, but I still believe this team has got way too much talent and way too much heart to go 6-10 or 7-9. I still think we're going to finish 9-7 and squeak that wild card because the AFC is so weak. So anyways, go Raiders. Take a week off, watch other teams lose, and then we come back next week and beat New England. I'm out.
Hey guys, this is Deathly Hollows from Reddit, just calling in to provide my mid-season take on the Raiders season so far. I think, outside of just the underperforming and the numbers and all that stuff, I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed in terms of this year and last year is, and this has been touched on a couple of times, I think we've lost that mojo and that swagger, especially from, just the offense as a whole. Now, I spent a lot of time blaming down here as well, but I think it's also Jack Del Rio. He's the head coach of this team, and he needs to turn the ship around. We have way too much talent to be 4-5, and I think at the end of the day, we will turn the ship around. We have the talent on the offense. The defense has been playing better, at least compared to last year. And hopefully we turn this around and we make a playoff push. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hello, my Raider brothers. It's Raider Forever, St. Homer. I just want everybody to take the time to remember how special these young players that we have grown to love truly are. Winning in the NFL is never easy, and many times a game of luck, chances, opportunities, officiating, and sometimes just the seconds of a clock. Many things have gone wrong, and we still have a long journey to reach our goal of making the playoffs. But if our star quarterback can get into a groove again, I really like our chances to get to the playoffs by winning 9 games, which I think will be good enough for a playoff berth this year. Keep the faith. Just win, baby. Never give up.
Hello, fellow bloggers. Silver and Black 666 here. Just wanted to give a shout out to Kenny for making this podcast. I'm loving these podcasts, and I'm feeling really optimistic about the Raiders. That last win, it was ugly, but I'll take it. We needed to go on a 7-1 run. Well, we started that one, so now we just got 6 left. Patriots, you're next. Stay positive. It's going to happen. We're going to make the playoffs.
Raiders! What's up, Kenny? Hey, man. It's a great feeling to have a win. Even though it wasn't a pretty win, it was a win. But we kind of wasted it by losing to Buffalo, bro. But it looks like hopefully we can use this as a springboard, get back on track, and we see where we go from there. I believe this team can get to 10 wins, even with the tough schedule that we have. It just takes a little dedication and a little faith in the Raider Nation. Looking forward to having you out here in Kansas City, Kenny, so we can clown all these Chief fans one more again. All right, man. Holler at y'all later. Go Raiders.
Hey, Stapler and Chase, man. Just want to let you guys know I respect and appreciate everything you guys do for the Raider Nation. Love the podcast, man. I listen to it all the time, every week, whenever the new one's up. This is your boy, Gypsy Raider, also known as David of Melody 253, man, on Instagram. Couple takes from the game. I like the way we ran the ball. But if it was me, I'd use more high power formation, man. You gotta put some big boys up front. Defense, man. Defense is awful, but hey, it is what it is, man. It's been like that for the last few years, right? Man, is in the game, Miami's starting right tackle got injured. So he went ahead and went out, and Khalil Mack, man, got some pressure on the next play. I think we even got a sack. Bruce Irvin and Mario was in on it or something. And then the next play, they move him, man. They move him down the line to the guard position. I don't know what they saw there. Maybe they thought the offense was going to get some help on the side or something with a back. I don't know, man. But anyways, man, everybody got to keep the faith, man. Shout out to the Raider Nation. Shout out to you guys, man. We're all out here. We're out here in the Northwest representing, man. We hold it down. We black it out every day. With that said, man, thanks for everything you guys do, man. God bless. Have a good one. Late.
And we're back. Tremendous callers this week. We got a lot of callers. Shout out to David and Melody. Follows us on IG. Real loyal follower there. Have a lot of good conversations with him on there. And one of our first calls from Reddit, Deathly Hollows there. He called in too. So thank you. We always appreciate picking up new listeners, new callers, and your usual cast of characters. Some really good points there. 303 brought up a good point. We didn't mention the poorest tackling game that we've had all season. And actually in some time, a lot of big shoulder hits, guys just flying off of bodies. You got to wrap up, especially Carl Joseph, man.
Yeah, I saw that early. That was early in the game, right? He came in and he just he tried to come in with just the shoulder.
Yeah.
It was, you know what it was? The corner came up, right?
Yes.
And he followed up behind him.
Yeah.
And because he was just coming in full blast, he just laid down his shoulder.
Yeah.
They both missed, and then the guy got in the end zone, right?
Yeah, I think the corner, I think it was that Carey that was right there? I didn't get a good look
Carey.
at it.
I'm not sure who the corner was, but I just remember I was like, really? Like we had two guys. One guy couldn't have gone a little bit further in, taking the inside out away from him. Yeah, it wasn't a very good look at all.
So they both kind of brushed up against each other. I think that took some of the impact of the hit away, and that's what you got. But start wrapping up, guys. Come on, Bowman. You got to coach these guys up, bro. If anybody can tackle on that team right now, it's Navarro Bowman.
But you know what? But props to Bowman. Like I said, I feel like he has solidified that linebacker position for us. James looks like he's playing way better since he's arrived.
Yeah.
He always seems like he's in the right spot, and I have to attribute that to him because he's got the green dot, man. Yeah. He's got the green dot, so he's calling out those plays and he's putting people in the right position. So props to Bowman, man, for coming over and doing that.
Yeah, Bowman's actually got a 79.1 run defense grade in all three of his games so far with Oakland. Only 3 other times has Oakland linebacker posted that kind of a grade in a game this season, and he's done it 3 games in a row, and I imagine that's just going to continue.
I think it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a stat right there. That's a quick hit.
Quick hit.
The other thing that I wanted to point out too, and you had mentioned this off the air, and a few people have actually been saying this, is early in the game. I didn't see it so much later in the game, but Carr's deeper passes were like rainbow shots.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
No, it kind of looked like they were coming off his back foot out. I'm not sure if that's the back, maybe kind of tight early in the game before he gets loosened up, but man, I was holding my breath on some of those passes.
There was, I felt like he was lofting it, and I'm telling you, I had the message. I had already typed, what the F is up with these passes? And then right when I was about to hit send, he threw that touchdown pass the whole time, and I was like, oh, let me save that for later.
So we just wanted to clean that up. But we do appreciate all the calls. Silver and Black 666, Raider Forever. Gent called in as well. So just everybody. I know I didn't get everyone there. Plunk, obviously, I love Plunk's calls, man. He's just got a great attitude. Anyways, we're gonna bring Chase on here, and so let me get him on the phone really quick.
Yeah.
And he's gonna help us break down this game. So this next segment, Chase on tape, and I do believe my man deserves his own sound effect.
There you go.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Chase? Welcome to the Pillaging Podcast. It's Chase on Tape, brought to you every week by Creative Media Design Studio, creativemediamonterey.com. Hit them up for all your design needs. They make this segment possible. What's good, Chase?
Not too much, man. This is a pretty good time to be on a bye week, don't you think?
Yeah.
You know what? You're absolutely right. We got the rookie just came back in there, so he's got some good experience under his feet. He could sit back and watch tape for the next week and a half. We got Derek Carr obviously needs to get healthy. We got Amerson needs to get healthy, and we got a W under our belt. That's the best time to go into a bye week. Wouldn't you say so?
Oh yeah, man. Especially when your next opponent is the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good opportunity for us to get a little extra preparation in.
So help us break down this game in Miami. Anything that jumped out at you in this game? What are some of the stuff that you saw?
Well, it was an interesting game. I think we saw the Raiders mix things up a little bit. We saw more play action, just like we've seen these last few weeks. We've actually been finally picking up the play action. We had some success off of it. We had a 44-yard touchdown to Johnny Holton out of the play action, so that was really good to see. We're mixing in a lot of.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, doesn't it seem like every time we have a gigantic play like that or a big 50-yard play, 40-yard play, it's off of the play action?
Oh, yeah, man. It's almost like teams don't see it coming.
Right.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is why you got to mix things up. When you do things differently, it opens up the entire game, and the defense isn't exactly sure what to expect.
Yep.
Another thing that we're doing more of recently is we're doing more of these run-pass option plays where really it's up to Derek Carr if he's going to hand the ball off or go to the air. And, we saw that get mixed in more and more in this last game against Miami, and I think it helped open up things both in the running game and the passing game.
Yep.
Yeah, was the big 22-yard run for Lynch, was that an RPO play or not? Am I wrong there?
Man, you know what? To be honest, I don't have it marked down as an RPO.
Okay.
On my sheet, but I will say, just full disclosure, for me at least, it's easier to notice the RPOs when it's actually a pass because you could sort of tell the offensive line is run blocking and the running back's expecting the run. So I don't. It's very possible that it was an RPO.
Okay. Some of the things that you had mentioned to me is Derek Carr. Now, we've been critical of him. We've been wondering why the quick releases, and it stood out to you in this game that he's only going through one or two reads.
Yeah, and some people put it on the injury. I think that's a big part of it probably, but honestly, Derek Carr has always had this tendency to get rid of the ball really quick. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with his brother getting pummeled, when he was in the NFL. But, I think the perfect play to look at when discussing this very topic is, there was a third down play late in the first half where it's third down. We're on the Miami 17-yard line, and we drop back in a pass. Derek Carr looks through two quick reads and then just throws the ball in the ground. I'm sure you guys remember that. He just throws it right in the ground. Yeah. And, he had a little bit of time, and B, he had actually, it might have been Cooper. He had someone on a little crossing route.
It was Cooper.
It was Amari Cooper. It actually wasn't even a crossing route. He kind of goes out to the flat, and he turns around right there, and the defense is playing a soft zone deep, and he had a good 10 yards in front of him, and possibly with Cooper's craftiness and his size, maybe pushes that ball into the end zone right there.
Yep.
Exactly, and all Carr does on that play is he looks quickly to the in route. Coming from the left side, there's an in route, and then you have a post route over the top of that, and he doesn't like either of those. And without even looking, his you could see his instinct is to just get rid of that ball, put it in the dirt, and kill the play. He does not want to get hit, and that has to be the injury. That he must be getting told, get rid of the football. We'll get the points. I don't know. It's just the mentality we're seeing from Derek Carr right now.
Yeah.
And we need that. We need more of that killer mentality. We saw that last year. That when he's playing fearless and just letting it rip, good things happen.
Yep.
So we've been hypercritical of the zone blocking scheme up until now, and again, not a tremendous amount of yards rushing in this game, but it was effective when we needed it, and we were doing a lot out of the zone blocking scheme. So what did you see from there? Is the offensive line starting to pick that up? Are we starting to learn and execute that better?
No. To be honest, no. It looks like we're still, the zone blocking scheme is still, it's hit or miss. Every once in a while, we'll get a little bit out of it. The first half, especially though, they were just shutting it down. And one thing Miami was doing that I noticed is on early, we know on first down, Todd Downing wants to run the football.
Yeah.
So on early downs, Miami's putting 8 in the box. They're putting one more defender in the box than we have to block. And when you get that happening in the zone block, in the zone blocking, just one defender to slip through the blocks and the play's blown up.
And for those of you that don't know the zone blocking scheme, well, it's run blocking that kind of looks like pass blocking. You have lots of offensive linemen essentially standing up. They're not pushing downhill. You have nobody pulling and nobody entering gaps. It's basically straight on, and it allows the running back to kind of pick and choose his hole. But like you say, when there's 8 guys in the box, there's not going to be a hole there. Right now, Marshawn Lynch averaging -2 yards in the outside zone concept. Might be a time to give that up.
Yeah, it definitely is, because when you're running a zone scheme, it takes patience. The running back has to be patient. He has to have the time to read the blocks. And when the defense is just coming down to smash it, when they know what's coming, then there is no time. There's no time to read what's happening, and there's nothing even there to look at. The play that we did do out of the zone scheme, and, it was kind of a ballsy call, to be honest. It came on like a 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, 3rd and 2.
Been getting
3rd and 2.
There you go. And we've been getting no success out of the run, especially when we're going zone. Yet, what do? We went right to it again. We gave it to Lynch. And Lynch made it. I don't know if he was told to do this by coaches or if he just saw it was coming. The defense was just flowing. The defense flowed to their right, our left, ready to shut down the zone. And right when Lynch got the ball, he cut right to the outside, back going to the right.
Yeah.
And I think he picked up like 6 yards or something like that. So that was nice.
Yeah, he made
but
that
happen. But that's been few and far between. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and those cutbacks, they're not going to happen every play either. The other thing I saw in the zone is that KO actually, our offensive lineman, got pancaked himself early on in an outside zone run. That's not good to see.
Man, but that's because he's sitting there catching the defender running into him, man. Yeah. When you have a guy like KO, you should be sending that dude to attack somebody. The defender should be having to catch KO, not the other way around, man.
Right. Bulldozers don't work in reverse.
Our offensive linemen are meant to be punching people in the face. They're not meant to be running after people.
Yeah.
They're not athletes. They're big men who want to beat you up.
They're athletes. It's just very large athletes.
Well, yeah.
So you had mentioned the 1-2 personnel. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So, just to break it down for anyone who doesn't know, 12 personnel. That's just one running back, 2 tight ends. This was heavily featured, especially in the first half. I have 14 plays out of 12 personnel, and we did a really good job mixing it up and keeping the defense on their toes, because I believe the 4 times that we passed out of 12 personnel in the first half were all play action passes, including that 44-yard touchdown pass that we already talked about, right?
Yeah.
So we ran the ball 7 out of 10 times. Let's see. Yeah, we had 7 runs out of 12 personnel, and it was nothing big. We didn't have a ton of success out of it. But when you mix it up and you throw in some passes in there, defense doesn't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And it set up for a lot of big plays.
Yeah.
There it is. We've talked about that. It seems like every week that you come on, we end up talking about, taking a hit early in the game just to set up something later in the game. And that's exactly what that is. You're setting up the disguise, and it's effective. It's working. So Todd Downing, keep doing that. Keep doing that. The other thing I wanted to talk about with you is the defensive play. A lot of people were, and we kind of already touched on this in the first half, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Cutler's stat sheet looked pretty good, but I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm seeing the 10 for 10 completions in a row in the first half. I'm not too impressed because I see everything going to the running backs out of the backfield, and I'm saying, hey, I'd rather this be happening and stopping them at the goal line than getting the big shot, getting beat over the top. How did you feel about Cutler's play? Was it as dramatically incredible as everybody's saying it is? We're so bad that we gave up Cutler's best game of the season. I mean, should we be worried about that? I understand we should be worried headed in to play New England, who they have a lot of success doing that. They have much faster running backs coming out of the backfield. But I thought, yeah, the numbers look great, but on field, the eyeball test, I wasn't extremely impressed. What were you impressed, or what's your take there?
No. Yeah, well, when watching the game, it's frustrating, and as a fan, when I'm just watching it live, and I'm sure everyone who was watching it live was frustrated, and rightfully so. It was pretty consistent, a lot of quick check downs, like you said. But when you're not getting any pass rush, we didn't have enough time to get much of a pass rush because he's getting rid of the ball so quickly.
Right.
But when you're not getting a pass rush, and it's pretty obvious Miami's game plan was, protect Cutler, get rid of the ball quickly, take what the defense gives you. Then that's exactly what's going to happen. The game was going to go no other way with the way our defense set out to play and their offense set out to play. And it's really obvious that Ken Norton and our defensive staff really just wanted to sit back, not let our slow corners or slow defenders get burnt, and just hope Jay Cutler makes a mistake. Just keep everything in front of him. Maybe Cutler will try and test us and throw into coverage. But no, overall, Cutler's performance was not that impressive. The thing that impressed me was probably his mobility. I was curious to see how he'd move around coming off the injury. Thought he moved pretty well. But in terms of the completion percentages, that's exactly what we were giving them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm okay with that. The meme comes to mind. Can't throw an interception if you don't throw into coverage.
Well,
yeah,
and especially if the defense is playing zone, right? Well, we played zone pretty much the whole game, right? If I'm not wrong on that, it felt like we were in zone
and cover
pretty much the whole time.
Yeah. Zone and
Yeah.
cover 2, and you're going to give up everything underneath when you're playing cover 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And that stuff is fine. I'm worried about what's going to happen when we play Tom Brady, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that we could be that conservative and hope Brady makes a mistake. Because Brady will nickel and dime us all the way down the field all game.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they'll have 350 passing yards.
And like 5 touchdowns.
Because that's the thing is he doesn't choke up in the red zone. That's the difference between Jay Cutler and Tom Brady. That's not the only difference. But that's definitely a difference. What I'm hoping for, and I don't want to get too much into this because I want to save some for next week, is that Pagano has some blitz packages he's been saving because the one way to get to Brady is to get to Brady.
Right.
You knock him off his spot a few times, and that rhythm starts to break down. We've seen that.
Yeah.
We've seen that.
Yeah.
So
stop saving them. This next week is, well, not next week, but the following week is the time to use those.
Yeah, it's time to cash in on everything you have.
Let them
thrown
all
out
out, man.
Yeah. Got to throw some new looks. That guy just eats film for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So some new looks against Tom Brady is what we're hoping for. Anything else?
Yeah, and again, the benefit of the bye week, we have a little extra time now to perfect those blitzes, to really figure out how to mix it up and do stuff that opposing teams won't see coming from our defense.
Right.
And I just want to remind everybody, Jack Del Rio is 2-0 after a bye week with Oakland Raiders. So.
Hey, that's good to hear. I didn't even know that. So that's promising.
He's no Andy Reid, but 2-0. Let's push that to 3-0. We would really like to see that. Speaking of seeing things, anything else that you saw on tape, Chase? Anything you want to mention?
Well, I think the key to keeping to changing things up offensively, once again, and this is just kind of going over again what we sort of touched on already, but mixing in these run-pass options really helps open things up for the offense. And I think this is something that Carr needs to do a better job of doing because it's been set up throughout the season, or at least it looks like it is. We've had moments where the receivers are running, this quick little screen route. It looks off to the side. but it doesn't even look like Carr's looking out there. In the past, he's just handed it off. This last game, we finally saw him changing things up, making calls at the line. The first play of our second drive of the game, we come out with 2 tight ends, and Carr, we line up. Carr makes a call, makes some sort of adjustment. I don't know that he's changing it to a pass, but then we come out and we have a 2-man route, and we end up throwing and gaining 12 yards, and it sure looked like a run-pass option to me. Huh. And I think we just got to keep defenses on their toes. Keep doing that. Yeah. Keep doing that, and then Carr could just take the matchup that presents itself to us.
It doesn't matter how much talent you have in the NFL. If you're predictable, that's it. It's all she wrote. And so I like that. Keep defenses on their toes. Keep it unpredictable, because then when you got weapons coming at you from all different angles, you got Crabtree, Cook, you got Lynch out of the backfield, maybe Rashard or Washington, you got Amari Cooper, even Seth Roberts out there. And you got a defense that's like, we don't know what's coming at us right now. That's when you're dangerous. Yep. I don't care who you have. If they know what's going to happen, they're going to beat you to the spot every single time. We saw it in Washington.
Yep.
So
and that's the creativity that we've talked about too, man. That's the creativity that we keep saying. Be creative. Be more creative. Mm-hmm. That's the creativity that we're talking about. Keeping teams off balance, not let them be able to key into certain plays or the way that we come out and we line up. Like if you can key in and know what we're gonna run just based off of how we lined up, then we're screwed. And you change things up. You give that play action and you turn things around on them. Then we're gonna be super successful, man.
Yep. Agree wholeheartedly.
And on top of that, one more thing that we changed up really well this last week and sort of added into the playbook a little more, it seemed. I've heard analysts talk about how the Raiders don't have a lot of, there's not a lot of motions and there's not a lot of variations in our formations. One thing we did a lot more of, it seemed, this last game was these wide receiver stacks, where out wide you have 2 receivers lined up sort of in front and behind each other.
Yeah.
And in fact, on that 44-yard touchdown pass, it came out of a stack. I believe it was Cooper and Holton were in that little stack set out to the left side, and it just helps keep defenses on their toes. They don't know which receiver is breaking which direction. Right. You don't know who's doing what. And we did a good job of adding that in last week, and we saw a lot of success out of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks again for joining us this week, Chase. We're gonna touch base with you next week. So do some New England Patriots study for us. You need to grind out some tape on the Patriots and let us know how we're gonna beat them. How about that?
Yeah, you got it. I'll crack the Bill Belichick system, and I'll get back to you guys, and I'll contact the Raiders, and I'll let them know what to do. Yeah.
Should be easy, right? You got a week. Get on it.
Yeah. Piece of cake. I got plenty of time.
All right, thanks again, bro. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, man. Sounds great. Have a great week.
Peace.
You too, Chase.
All right, bye.
That was a good segment.
Yeah.
I always feel smarter after talking to Chase.
Right.
Yeah.
He has a way of doing that. Make you feel super smart. Oh, yeah. Chase said exactly what I was thinking.
So it's time for Quick Hits.
Oh!
First quick hit of the week. Miko Grimes is a slimy garbage can in real life. Word out today, Reggie McKenzie, he had a presser today, and it's looking more like Khalil Mack's extension is likely to come next offseason. So wait patiently as they move some money around and make that work. Among running backs with 75-plus carries this season, Raiders running back Marshawn Lynch ranks 4th in forced missed tackles per attempt and 5th in yards after contact per attempt. He's averaging 3 yards after contact.
Yeah.
His total yard per carry average is somewhere around 3.5. He's banging.
Yeah, man. I told you he's carrying like 2-3 guys on his back and getting a couple yards. So,
yeah.
Keep on doing what you do.
Raiders defensive tackle Eddie Vanderdoes has recorded 4 total pressures in weeks 2 through 9. That's tied for second to last amongst defensive tackles with 100-plus pass rush snaps in said weeks. So we started this season saying Vander was doing it well.
Vander does it well, and hasn't done it well for a while.
So as it turns out, Vander doesn't. Raiders tackle Donald Penn is on pace to allow 25 total pressures this season. That would be a career low mark for the 12-year veteran. No Raiders offensive tackle with 500-plus pass block attempts has allowed fewer than 27 pressures in a season in the PFF era, 2006 to present. So there's some criticism of Penn earlier in the season.
Lots of criticism, especially after he got paid.
Yeah, and he's doing just fine.
He's doing just fine. Keep on doing what you do.
Missed the button there, in case you're wondering what that was. So prior to his injury, Raiders rookie Markel Lee ranked 4th among NFL linebackers with 42-plus run snaps in run stop percentage, 12.7. So Markel Lee actually doing pretty good against the run.
Yeah.
We need to get him healthy. We need to get him back. And like we said, the linebackers take a lot of heat. But now since Bowman's shown up and we're mid-season, they're looking a lot less like the problem.
And I think that he's going to be huge in the development of Lee. Yeah. He's going to be huge in the development of Lee. Having a veteran leader like that, somebody that you could basically just say, I'm just going to follow what you do.
Yeah.
I'm just going to just show me what to do. I'm going to do exactly what you do.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be great for him. And he can very well be somebody that leads our defense in the future, man.
The other thing that came out of that presser with McKenzie today is he looks at Bowman as a long-term option there.
Yeah, man.
He's really high on injured players coming back in their second season. We already know he's high on injured players, and some of us think that he's just high. But as it turns out, we're looking to keep Bowman around. He's not just a runner player for this year, and so that speaks exactly to what you're saying. And he's going to be a great coach on this defense for years to come, or at least for the next couple of years.
Yep.
Raiders cornerbacks. That sound should not even be associated with Raiders cornerbacks, to be honest with you. They have allowed 1,175 yards this season, which ranks 27th in the NFL. The Chiefs' slew of cornerbacks rank 32nd with 1,480 yards allowed. So the Chiefs' defense was highly touted early in the season. They're starting to kind of come apart at the seams a little bit.
Well, but we discussed this too. Eric Berry going out early in the season.
Yeah.
When I saw Eric Berry go out, I was like, oh, the Chiefs secondary is in trouble.
Yeah.
They still got Marcus Peters, and he still does his thing.
Yeah.
But all the rest of those dudes, they're in trouble.
Yeah, Peters, that's just one side of the field, right?
Yep. And he only plays the left side. He only plays left side.
That's it.
And
we've mentioned it before. Smith doesn't have Barry behind him, and therefore you see some woes here. And I think I mentioned the stat last week, though. 71 snaps, only 12 yards allowed for Smith. So the time on the bench was well-deserved. Don't get it twisted. The poor play of McDonald on the other side is definitely helping him out, but I'm still calling for help over the top. Nelson, man, you're a good guy. I know you're a team captain. You're a locker room dude, but it's time to give some of the younger guys a shot. Going along with that stat I just mentioned, of the 121 corners in the league with 101 plus snaps through week 9, the Raiders corners Amerson, Smith, and McDonald rank number 121, number 120, and 119 respectively in passer rating allowed. That hurts. Through 9 games last season, Malcolm Smith gave up 5 touchdowns into his coverage area. In 2017, Raiders linebackers have given up just 4 touchdowns collectively. Stop harping on the linebacker crew. I know the eyeball test. I know the stats. I've seen the scores. We've narrowed it down. It's the secondary.
Yeah, that's it.
So feel good about that, I guess, in some way, right?
In some way, and hope that Conley is able to come back healthy and Obi starts to pan out, and you know what? He did his thing, too, this week.
Yeah, he did. So the next segment is I See You.
I see you.
So I pulled this off of the blog earlier. This was probably like 3 hours ago. We have a blog around there, Eternal Pessimist. Eternal, I love you, bro. It's all good. We got to meet up at the game. I think it was a Chargers game. Could be wrong there. But you're a cool dude. But you also spicy takes.
You come in hot.
Very hot. Coming in real hot. And I know you've been hypercritical of Carr since day one. You don't necessarily fully believe in the dude. And you know what? That's fair. And I think we need fans like that. We need to hold our star players accountable.
Exactly.
But you kind of got out of pocket today when you said, okay, when you said if we released Carr we could probably afford a defense like Jacksonville's. Just saying. Now, I'm not saying that that's not true, because that's true.
It is true.
If we dumped Carr, we could afford that. And then what?
Yeah. And then what?
Blake Bortles ain't walking through that door. Okay?
And do you want Blake Bortles walking through that
No.
door? No, you don't.
That's the point I'm trying to make here. Okay, EP, we don't need to dump Carr to fix the defense. It's shoot, I hate to say it, but it is a work in progress.
Well, no, listen. Let's be real about the reasons why we've been at the bottom for this amount of time. It's because we haven't been able to find a quarterback for all this time. Since Gannon has been gone, we have sucked because we didn't have a franchise quarterback. So you decide that because your franchise quarterback got hurt and maybe isn't resembling what you've gotten used to, and you dump him before you can fully get him healthy and back to where he was, that's a bad call, because we've been desperate for a quarterback for so many years. That you get a good defense, that's great. But how many defenses have been able to win a Super Bowl? One team comes to mind, and that's the Ravens, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been too many teams that have been able to be successful all the way to the full extent as we see it, right? Which is winning a Super Bowl. There's only been one defense that we've seen do that without a real quarterback, and that's the Ravens. So, one out of how many years? Exactly. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't want that. You know what? Let the defense catch up, but you don't give up a franchise quarterback for nothing.
No. But you know what? It's all love, EP. He's up there in Seattle. He's got to deal with Seahawks fan every day. So I feel you, bro. I'm glad you're holding these players accountable. We need people like you. We need homers, but we need folks like you too. We need people that are critical. And just a special shout out to EP. He's a musician, man. So check out his band. They got a website called they got a band called The Bad Tenants. You could check them out at thebadtenants.com. That's BAD Tenants, TENANTS. They're great. It's hip hop. It's real jazzy. They got a live band, great flow, just good music, man. You don't have to be a hip hop fan to appreciate this. And if you are a hip hop fan, you're going to appreciate it that much more. Their new album, or their newest album, I should say, Mostly People. You can check that out on Google Music, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify, Tidal, Bandcamp, the whole nine. Just Google it, The Bad Tenants, or thebadtenants.com. Make sure you give them a listen. That's great car music. That's good sunny day music, even though it's made out there in gray weather. I don't know how y'all do it. I saw sunshine in your music video. I was like, this ain't real. For real though, EP, we love you, bro, and keep it up. I call these people out, and sometimes they get offended, but it's like, yo,
it's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love.
I put you on because it jumped out to me. So
exactly.
That's the thing. Anyways, I want to give some shout outs here. Shout out again to David and Melody from IG, and Sleep What Is That on IG. You guys are holding us down over there. Silver and Trash on Twitter. Your takes are funny. Warriors fan, Raiders fan. I've been exchanging with you the last couple of days. Hopefully you're listening to the podcast. I don't know if you do, but if you do, shout out to you. Shout out to EP, man, because I just put you on blast. So shout out. Shout out to Nola Rick, one of the moderators on the blog, longtime blogger out there in New Orleans. Cool dude. Raider Forever. He called in earlier. That's my dude. We sit together. Chase sat with us too. That's family right there. Guest 123. Man, one love with you. I always go back and forth with you on the blog in a good way. Always positive vibes coming from you. SB3. I think you're the dude that posted your car online earlier. You got Pontiac Riviera or Buick Riviera. Real clean. If that wasn't you, my bad.
Still clean car.
Shout out to Dutch Raid. Out at all the home games. He sits right next to Raider Kane, and those two are real fun to kick it with. He's always coming through some real nice champagne.
Oh.
Yeah, he's always got like some aged scotch. Yeah, well, he lives up there. He lives in Lagunitas.
Oh, okay.
So he's right there in wine country, right there in beer country, and he's always got his little basket of goodies. Ooh. And we look forward to that.
I look forward to meeting you.
24, holding it down for the Gingers out there. Yeah, he actually lived in my hometown for a little bit as well. He's not the only one on the blog, but I see you, 24. And Macho Man Randy Savage. Not the Macho Man. We actually got a blogger on there, but hell, the Macho Man Randy Savage too. Shout out to you because I was a big fan as a kid. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was not a sound drop. That was actually Che doing it for real. Che, anything you want to add before we get out of here, bro?
Shout out to my lady.
There you go.
Shout out to my lady.
There you go.
Doing her thing, staying steady on the work, and coming home and being a great, fabulous mom.
Yeah, I want to say I want to shout out to Steb. He's one half of creative media over there, and a shout out to Tony. You guys both listen, but special shout out to Steb. He listens. He's not a Raider fan. I know he's got love for the Raiders. He's a Packers fan, so no animosity there. You guys beat us in like Super Bowl 4. I think it was. Well, my dad's also a Packer fan. That's like his home team. He's a Raiders fan now.
But he's a Raiders fan too, man. Let's not get it twisted.
He's a through and through Raiders fan. But there's love for the Packers in this household. But he hits me up every once in a while after the show, so I know he's listening. I really appreciate that. That kind of stuff keeps me wanting to do this every week. Because there's Wednesday nights where I'm like, oh yeah, Thursday tomorrow I got nothing. I got to do the podcast. Yeah. And then, I think about, Che's going to come over. We're going to do the thing. Somebody hits me up. I'm like, you know what? This is fun to do. Why am I sweating that? I could sit on my couch and watch TV, and that sounds like a great idea. But once you've done it all night, it's like you've done that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Been here.
It's just wasted time.
Exactly.
So we're out here doing it. And let's face it, this ain't hard work. It's just time. That's all it is.
It's all love, man.
It's all fun, yeah. And shout out, hey, while we're at it, shout out to Raider Roy. That's my pops.
Yeah.
He's the one that taught me how to be a Raider fan, and he's the reason why I'm a Raider fan.
Yeah.
So from my heart. And we're going to get him on here, too. We're going to get him on here. He's a character, man. He's good.
Yeah, man.
He can talk.
Pops. I love him, man. Yeah. Got good information. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he listens to, I know he'll be listening to this tomorrow morning, first and foremost. He's probably our first listener ever. So you got that. Obviously got family love. Family's got to hold you down, or else what are they there for, right?
Exactly.
So, that's it for this week's show. Tune in every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, or wherever podcasts are available. Call us and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. And don't forget, we publish fan-submitted articles, so send us your best write-ups and see your work published online. And lastly, get dipped in pillaging gear by heading to pj4f.com/shop. We got our t-shirts on there. They do special orders if you need something. If the sizes aren't listed, just email them. They'll hook you up. Also, we got the little Zazzle shop. Get your frosted mug. Get your Raiders flask. I got the coffee mugs. I'm a caffeine freak. And help us keep this pirate ship floating along.
Yeah, man.
I'm Kenny Stapler, joined every week
by your boy Che.
We out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Like a freight train coming, you're blowing the town. Like a diesel motor, you never shut down. With your pistons pumping, you're mowing them down. It's a sight to see, they all lay their money down. When you're gone, mama, hell, you ain't acting right. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone, gone, when the sky is gray and the night sets in, it's your cue to do it all again. Until the next time I hear your name, or right beside you, now my thoughts to remain. When you're gone, mama, I'll be missing you. When you're gone, mama, I can still see